What's up, guys? It's the Black Empress here. Welcome to my channel. Please like, subscribe, and share so we can grow our community. Now, you know how I like to process stuff on video as my way of sharing my life lessons with you guys, in the hope that you will learn from my mistakes without having to go through the suffering that I had to go through in order to learn the lessons that I learned. So I have a lot to say about all the horrible and terrible things that my ex put me through. And I've just been thinking, like, as part of my introspection, as part of my taking responsibility. Yes, this person, put me through a lot and did so much to me, but what did I do wrong in the relationship? Because obviously I'm not perfect, and what did I do wrong? And I struggled to determine where I went wrong in the relationship. And I was like, nah, girl, there's got to be stuff that you did wrong too, because it obviously takes two to tango and no one is perfect. And then I remembered that, the reason why I struggled to come up with the things that I did wrong in the relationship is because I always had the best of intentions. Like, one thing about me, those that know me will tell you hands down, I've got a pure heart and my intentions are always pure. That's something that I actually, take pride in, because I'm very intentional about that. I understand, how life is a wheel and everything comes around. So I'm very intentional about pure intentions. I'm very mindful of how I treat other people. That's why I really struggled to think of the things that I used to do or that I can say that I did wrong in the relationship. And then I remembered before I had the understanding that I have now, I used to steal from my ex, guys. Like, this man never wanted to give me money for shit. Like, maybe, once in a while when he got overexcited or whatever, you'd give me money. I remember the last time he made like over 120,000, and he wouldn't give me a cent. And some might say it was his money to do what he wanted with, and that's fine. But what was hurtful for me from that experience was how I wanted to start a business at the time, because when I was with him, I wasn't working, and he wasn't willing to give me the things that I needed, but he didn't want me to work either. And I was always trying business here and there, and I wanted to go to China so badly. And all I wanted from that 120-something thousand was like 30K. So I can just go to China, check it out, and see what I can make of it. And the man, like, just downright refused. And then the next thing, I find out that he gave his brother, was it 40K or something like that? And the brother kind of just blew the money and stuff. And then he was upset that I gave him money. He's blown it already, he's asking me for more money and things like that. And I was like, but I asked you for money for a business that was going to help us in the house and, our children, and you refused. And do you know what he said to me? He's like, well, he's my brother. That's why I gave him that money. And then I thought, I've been living with this man for more than, at the time, I think we had been together for 5 years. I've got 2 kids with you. Yes, he's your brother, whatever. I'll never stop you from giving your relatives money or whatever the case may be. But for you to say that, he was almost implying, who are you for me to give you money? I give my brother because it's my brother. Who are you? So my issue wasn't with him giving the brother the money. My issue was with him saying, I gave him because he's my brother. to imply that I didn't give you because what are you to me? Okay. The reason why I'm sharing this story is just to give a backdrop of how I could never get anything out of this man. And in spite of not getting anything out of it, he would sabotage my efforts to try and do something for myself, to try and get my own money. So I started stealing from him. I started stealing from him. He didn't have a bank account, so he would keep money in his wardrobe. And I used to steal from this man all the time. And for what it's worth, I confessed when I realized the folly of my ways. I actually told him that, dude, I've been stealing from you for years. And yeah, then I just stopped doing it. I never stole from him after that, but I did tell him. But I just want to share as my way of processing how I wasn't innocent in the relationship. So I know, I'm sure this is something that partners do, like women do to their partners or whatever, but I just want to own up to it and take responsibility for that. Because, yeah, I would say definitely that was one of the things that I did wrong. So he would keep money in the wardrobe. He would have 10,000 sometimes. So the amount of money that I would steal would be determined by how much was there. So sometimes there'll just be piles with rubber bands like that. And I would kind of just pinch from one pile. And I would check to see, I would monitor, and he never knew. I was stealing from him for years and he never knew. So I would wait a day or two to hear if he says anything. And if I see that he hasn't noticed, I'd go back and take more. And it's so sad because if I try to think what I did with that money, I can't even tell you what I did with that money. So, yeah, but that is the nature anyway of, stealing and things like that. So when did I realize that this was wrong, and when did I stop stealing from this man? When I had a mentor. For those that know, I'm self-initiated, so I didn't really have a gobela, or I didn't go in Twasa or any of that. But I did have mentors at different times of my life. And I had a mentor, and after she started teaching me, the idea that how separation is an illusion and how in the grand scheme of things we're all one, I realized that, this is wrong what I'm doing. And I confessed to her, and I was like, listen, I steal from my man, and it's because he doesn't give me money. Obviously, I was trying to justify it. And sometimes I really need something and the money's right there. And he will outright tell me I don't have money or I don't want. Sometimes he'll just plain tell me, hey, I don't want. So I would just go and take. Anyway, that was my way of justifying. I had no right to his money under any means or whatever. So she's like, okay, what you don't realize is that you're actually stealing from yourself. And I was like, you know what? She's actually right. In the grand scheme of things, because we are all one, separation is just an illusion. Whatever I do to you, I do to myself. We are different expressions of source, we're different expressions of God. But in the grand scheme of things, we are all one. Now, she didn't have to tell me to stop stealing from the man. She just had to remind me how we are all one in the grand scheme of things, and how stealing from this man was actually me just stealing from myself. It's no wonder I could never do anything useful or sensible with the money, the fruit of ill gain. But yeah, that's the first thing for me that comes to mind when I think of the things that I did wrong in the relationship. Other thing that I know I did wrong for sure was how I just used to despise and maybe even hate this man at times, because you need to understand that I was in a toxic relationship for close to 10 years. And this is a relationship I was trying to get out of, like from the first year, and I couldn't. And I take responsibility for that. I couldn't because I wasn't strong enough to do what I needed to do to end the relationship. I couldn't because I chose to believe all the lies that he told me about how, no one would ever love me, how no one else could be with me because I was such a terrible person and, I was impossible to be in a relationship with. So I take full responsibility for having stayed as long as I did. But that didn't stop me from feeling angry and bitter towards this man. And I just thank God that I didn't act on that bitterness. I didn't act on that anger. It's just something that I harbored for him in my heart. And I don't think I ever told him. The other thing that I did in the relationship was that I cheated on him. Throughout, I never once cheated on the man, because it's just not in my nature. I'm not a cheater. But things got so bad and he wouldn't let me go. And I told him, listen, dude, I'm done. I'm fed up with this. You won't give me what you need, which I was referring to just simple things like love and kindness and things like that. And I used to tell him that someone wouldn't have to do much for me to want to be with them over you. Like, literally, if someone just showed me kindness, I'm gone. I'm gone. They wouldn't have to love me. They wouldn't have to do a single thing for me. They wouldn't have to give me anything if they could just be kind. That's the degree to which I was traumatized by the unkindness that I experienced at the hands of this man. So I got to a place where I just got tired. I used to be constantly accused about how I'm cheating and, how I'm entertaining other men and this and that. And I got tired and I told him straight, listen, dude, I'm tired of you accusing me of cheating. So I'm going to have one on you. And when I come, I'm going to be thinking of you. So, yeah, I cheated on him. And then I told him years later that, my guy, when we were going through this and whatever, I cheated on you. I'm not even going to talk about how I asked him if he had been cheated. He's like, no, I've never cheated on you. And, the works. Drama, and he was very dramatic, and even his response to my confession, and he hung me out to dry, he made me feel it for 3 months, or more after I had confessed, insisting that he had never done anything, to cheat on me. And yet he actually had with a friend of my sister-in-law. That's the one that I know about. And there were others as well online and this and that. But anyway, yeah. So I knew. And then everything came out when I started channeling, when this channeling gift was activated. And, there's a spirit that came through and said the woman's name and told me to ask him who it was. And, I started describing things they used to do, and things like that. And then only then was he like, oh, yeah, I actually cheated. I'm sorry, and blah, blah, blah. But yeah, those are the 3 things that I can think of. It feels like I'm not taking responsibility enough if those are the only things I did wrong. So I think I'll do another video if I do think of the other things that I did wrong. Yeah, but definitely the stealing from the man, that I definitely did. Anger, the harboring of anger and bitterness in my heart for him, and the cheating. But the cheating, I'm not apologetic for, because I warned him before I did it. And even after I did, I told him. Not that that makes it right, but yeah, in my defense, I actually told him. But yeah, this is my way of processing the things that I did wrong in the relationship. So let me know in the comment section. I know we have a lot to say about our toxic partners, how they did us wrong and things like that. Let's take a moment to just take accountability for our part. And let's think about the things that we are doing wrong to our toxic partners, or the things we did wrong in our relationships with these people. And then forgive ourselves for that. Once you take responsibility, you own it. Yeah, I did what I did, and I forgive myself. I forgive myself, and I let go of any guilt or shame that is associated with the things that I did. And yeah, peace and gratitude, you move on. You move on. You keep it moving. You do what you got to do to be okay. You do what you got to do to heal, so that you don't make the same mistakes when you do end up in another relationship. And just to remind you, we are not in a hurry to go into another relationship. We're taking time to heal. We love relationships. We want to be in relationships, because relationships, there's some things that can only be healed in the context of a relationship. If we look at things like childhood traumas and things like that, there is some things that can only be healed in the context of a relationship. But some relationships, especially when they're abusive and toxic, end up doing more harm than good. So in order for us to stop attracting these toxic and abusive relationships, we want to take time to heal off that energy that attracted these relationships in the first place. And then after we heal, then we open ourselves, to a new relationship, to a new beginning, where we can hopefully continue this healing journey within the context of a relationship. I hope this helps somebody. Nithanda ndim, guys.